Good evening and welcome. You're watching Trending tonight. I'm Sanket Upadhyay. Two stories that we are going to track. Story number one, farmer agitation reloaded. First in Muzaffarnagar with a Mahapanchayat on Sunday and now a protest in Karnal. The point is, we have seen these scenes in the past. We've seen the confrontation as well. And this protest just keeps going on. There is a political answer each time that this is funded politically, fueled politically. But the big question is, if this protest is allowed to continue and there is no proper dialogue from both sides, can it impact poll results? Poll results in Punjab as well as poll results in Uttar Pradesh, because these are the areas that are immediately going to polls. Farmer agitation reloaded, can it impact the poll results? That's going to be our discussion number one. Story number two, there are ministers in Maharashtra who now say that the third wave is here. Of course, that has been downplayed later. But the point is, you see the alarming number of cases from Kerala. You see a rise in the cases from Maharashtra. So if it is Maharashtra today, could it be the rest of India tomorrow? And can we just sit back and relax that, see, now we have other diseases, so maybe the pandemic is over? There is no scientific proof to corroborate this theory. The pandemic and the virus is very much out there, and the possibility of a third wave is also very much out there. We'll be discussing this with a few doctors. But first, story number one, Mohammad Ghazali, my colleague, is still reporting non-stop right from the morning. Ghazali, it's been an extremely long day for you. Huge protests being planned by the farmers. They're marching in Karnal. Talks have failed. Can you tell us what exactly have the farmers decided from here on?
See, as of now, what they had planned since 30th of August, that they will come here and sit and Ghirao the DC office or the district administration complex, they have finally done that. So, as of now, there is no future plan or no further plan till they feel that the government will come up, will negotiate with them, or will offer or call them for talks and agree to their demands. Because this happened yesterday also. Like today was Mahapanchayat, so a day before Mahapanchayat, yesterday also, the farm union leader Gurnam Chadhoni is a known Haryana face of the farm agitation here. He met the DC and SP of the district and asked them to sort of accept their demand of pressing murder charges against the then SDM Mr. Ayush Sinha, but it was not accepted by the district administration. And even yesterday, the administration or the DC and SP, you must have heard, saying that we will take strict measures, we'll ensure there is no gathering. Section 144 was imposed, 5 or more people can't assemble anywhere. But even today morning, when the district administration felt, or it appeared to them that more farmers won't come to the grain market to attend the Mahapanchayat because it was raining in the morning, and many farmers have not even returned from Muzaffarnagar because they were traveling with the tractor and trolleys. They have to reach farther areas in Punjab and all. So from many assessment, it appeared that lesser number of farmers will arrive here. But even the administration was taken by shock when they saw a large number of farmers. By around 11 or 12 started trickling in. Farm union leaders started coming in, and after that the administration itself felt that now they will have to extend or sort of invite the farm union leaders for talk. Then another round of 3 to 4 hours of marathon meeting went on. The same demands were presented again, that we want murder charges against the cops and the SDM who was involved in the lathi charge attack, and for his comments, and compensation for damaged vehicles, compensation for a farmer who attacked.
The protests that are taking place in Karnal, but the larger point is how long will these protests go on, and what sort of political impact is this going to have? Yes, Haryana is not going to polls right now, but will this gain traction on the ground to make it politically difficult for the Khattar government to survive? Or what immediate impact is it going to have
Certainly.
in Punjab as well as in Uttar Pradesh? Ghazali, I'll come back to you in just a short moment from now. We have Mr. Pushpendra Singh, he's the president of the Kisan Shakti Sangh. We also have Mr. Sanjay Rana of the Bharatiya Kisan Union. Thank you very much to the two of you. And Ashok Kumar Thakur, Director NAFED, is going to join us in just a short moment. Pushpenji, I want to begin with you first. The government on its part has been saying again and again कि आपकी बात सुन ली, इसको कुछ समय के लिए हटा दिया. But then again, you see that the farmers are not budging. किसान हट नहीं रहे हैं अपनी जगह से, अपनी मांग से. आपको लगता है कि बातचीत करना और एक समाधान निकालना, to talk and to find a solution should be of paramount importance to everyone.
नहीं, ये बात ठीक है आपकी संकेत जी के लोकतंत्र में किसी भी समस्या का हल जो है बातचीत के माध्यम से निकलना चाहिए। अब 9 महीने इस आंदोलन को दिल्ली के बॉर्डर पर चलते हो गए हैं। 600 से ज्यादा किसान भाइयों की शहादत इस आंदोलन में हो चुकी है और लगभग 8 महीने से जो है वार्ता बंद है। 3 महीने पहले संयुक्त किसान मोर्चा ने एक चिट्ठी लिखी सरकार को कि भाई जो है वार्ता शुरू की जाए, लेकिन उसका कोई जवाब सरकार ने नहीं दिया है। ये सरकार जो है केवल दबाव में काम करती है। जिस प्रकार से एजिटेशन यहाँ पर करनाल में हुआ, एसडीएम ने सर फोड़ने की बात किसानों की कही और सर वास्तविक रूप से फोड़े गए, पूरी खोपड़ी खोल दी गई जिसमें 25-25 टांके आए और उनको 7 दिन का समय देने के बावजूद भी और गैर संवैधानिक, इतना गैर जिम्मेदाराना बयान देने के बावजूद भी उसके खिलाफ कोई कार्रवाई नहीं की गई है एसडीएम साहब जो है। और आज जब ये घेराव हुआ और घेराव के बाद जो है अब किसान वहां पर मिनी सेक्रेटरीट के बाहर जाकर के बैठ गए हैं। वार्ता जो हुई है उसके बाद भी इन्होंने कोई काम नहीं किया है, कोई मांग जो है मानी नहीं है। कौन से संविधान में लिखा है भाई एसडीएम कहेगा कि जाकर के आप उनके सर फोड़ दें? वो तो शांतिपूर्ण तरीके से जहां पर ये बात कही गई थी उससे 15 किलोमीटर दूर थे, फिर भी जो है एसडीएम महोदय जो कह रहे हैं निश्चित रूप से ऊपर से जो आदेश उनको मिला है उसके आधार पर उन्होंने कहा है। तो लोकतंत्र में जो है ये जनता का दबाव, जन दबाव ही काम करता है और हमें आशा है कि अब जब घेराव होगा, दिल्ली बॉर्डर पे भी हो रहा है, वहां भी हो रहा है और अनिश्चितकालीन है, जब तक मांगे नहीं मान ली जाती इस घेराव को, ये घेराव शांतिपूर्ण तरीके से हम लोग चलाएंगे। जी,
मैं अब आपके पास आना चाहता हूं संजय राणा जी। आप मुझे ये बताइए कि इसका राजनीतिक प्रभाव, देयर आर पीपल हु आर ऑब्वियसली अपसेट. Now the government says, and we've heard this on a number of occasions, that this is politics happening in the name of a farmers' protest. But the point is, a large number of people are protesting. And can this large number of people or the large voice be unheard for a very long time? Of course, it will have political implications. What's your view?
Sanket, I would put forward in 2 parts. So one, obviously, I'm just going to talk about this agitation which is happening in Karnal. Another one is the political part. So I'm just taking the Karnal issue. Obviously, I believe, we as a Kisan have a constitutional right to do the demonstration. And if we face any problem, obviously we have to put forward. Number one. Number two, no one has a right. I'm talking about no one has a right to do the lathi charge like this and say such kind of a statement, which is not acceptable at all. This is number two. Number three, if any farmer is trying to do agitation and they have some demand to suspend SDM or take corrective action, I think government should take corrective action and put forward, accept the request of the farmers. So this is the one point which I'm trying to put forward. And the second one, Sanket, about the political one, is going to be too early at this point of time to say on this. But yes, it's going to impact, because if you look at the Paschim, Uttar Pradesh is totally Jat Bahul as well as a Muslim Bahul. If you look at the combination of the both one religion and another caste, is contributing around 34% vote share, which is a huge, and I'm sure it will impact on that part if it is coming on the political portion.
So you're saying that it is a matter of great significance for particularly Mr. Yogi Adityanath, if he wants to retain his fortunes in Western UP, to listen to these farmers and look for a solution.
If you're asking me, I would put it like this. Yogi Adityanath is trying, but obviously I met a couple of times in last 1 month's time, and he listened to us. And he has given increment, I would say, increase of 5 rupees in Ganna, which is not a big amount. But we had another round of discussion with Mr. Yogi Adityanath, and he's assured us, I'm not committed, assured us that he will increase some price, and he will try to do it something like Punjab. I don't know how much is going to impact in UP. It's too early to say that, but it looks it will impact if government is not taking corrective action.
ओके, वेरी क्विकली पुष्पेन जी, आपने अभी सुना संजय राणा जी का कहना है कि आश्वासन मिला है और उस आश्वासन के आधार पर हमें इंतजार करना चाहिए। जैसे कि जो उनका गुट भी है भारतीय किसान यूनियन का, वो उसने यही बात रखी है हमेशा शुरुआत से। वो पहले आप लोगों के साथ ही आंदोलन कर रहे थे, लेकिन उसके बाद फिर उनको लगता है कि सरकार को एक मौका दिया जाना चाहिए। मैं आपसे जानना चाहता हूं कि ये भरोसे की कमी के लिए जिम्मेदार कौन है? हु इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर द ब्रेकडाउन ऑफ ट्रस्ट?
नहीं, भरोसे की कमी निश्चित रूप से सरकार की तरफ से हुई है। किसानों की तरफ से तो कोई भरोसा नहीं तोड़ा गया है। जिस प्रकार से गन्ने के रेट के बारे में राणा जी कह रहे हैं, 450 रुपए का रेट लगातार रैलियों में 2017 के चुनाव से पहले कहा गया था कि गन्ने का प्रति क्विंटल 450 रुपए का रेट उत्तर प्रदेश में दिया जाएगा, लेकिन 315 से 10 रुपए बढ़ा करके मात्र 325 रुपए किया गया, वो भी 2017-18 में। उसके बाद पिछले 3 सीजनों में कोई 1 रुपए का भी गन्ने का जो है रेट नहीं बढ़ाया गया है। यदि मैं महंगाई दर की जो 6% औसतन चली है पिछले 4 साल में इसकी बात करूं, तो उसी के अनुसार अभी जो है 325 का रेट जो है कम से कम 400 रुपए का रेट होना चाहिए। तो सरकार कहीं ना कहीं अपने वायदों पे खरी नहीं उतर रही है। इसके अलावा अन्य समस्याएं भी उत्तर प्रदेश में गन्ने किसान के अलावा गन्ने के भुगतान की है, जो इन्होंने कहा था 15 दिन में भुगतान हो जाएगा। 6,000 करोड़ का अभी भी गन्ना किसानों का बकाया है इसी सीजन का। उसके अलावा
So you're saying that a lot has been promised, and that is why when the government gives an assurance, it cannot be taken at face value. Thank you very much, Mr. Singh, as well as Mr. Rana, for joining us. It will be interesting to see whether this Kisan agitation reloaded can have major political repercussions or not. Because, you know, there's a very basic question. If it is so simple that there will be political ramifications, then for any ruling dispensation, this will be suicidal to fight with the farmers. Why is the BJP so sure that it wants to go down this path? We'll stay with this focus in our later broadcast as well. But moving on now to story number 2. Cabinet Minister in Maharashtra, Nitin Raut, has said that the third wave has arrived in Nagpur, creating a stir with his statement. Nagpur is actually doing better when compared to districts like Pune and Ahmednagar. Nagpur has been reporting new cases in double digits for 2 consecutive days, but surprisingly the minister clarified that there were no decision yet on introducing fresh restrictions. But the larger point is, there is definitely a rise in Maharashtra. So if it is Maharashtra today, could it be India tomorrow?
मैं मेरे पापा को छोड़ के किधर नहीं जाएगी।
At least 2 officials in Maharashtra have said the third wave is here, in Mumbai and in Nagpur. Mumbai's cases in September are already 28% of all of August's.
इधर उधर घूमना, बिना मास्क के उधर बैठना, तो मंडल के लोग भी जिम्मेदारी ले भी रहे। तो मेरा घर मेरा पापा ऐसा ये करके मैं खुद किधर भी जाने वाली नहीं है, क्योंकि तीसरी वेव आ रही है, आ गई है।
The last week has seen over 2,800 cases, which is 55% more than the weekly total a fortnight ago. In Nagpur, a minister from the Congress declared a third wave as well.
आज डबल के फिगर में हम आ गए हैं। इसका मतलब हमारे यहाँ थर्ड वेव का आगमन हो गया है। उसका मुकाबला करने के लिए हमारा प्रशासन सजग रहे। कड़क निर्बंध हमको लगाने पर मजबूर होना ही पड़ेगा और वो लगेंगे।
But in Nagpur, while the jump over the last fortnight is sharper, over 150%, the total cases are only 49. So is it being blown out of proportion? 2 top ministers played down the third wave comments.
नागपूरच्या बाबतीत त्यांनी त्यांचे पालकमंत्री म्हणून आढावा घेऊन काही गोष्टी जरूर बोलल्या असतील, परंतु आज मला एक नक्की सांगायचं आहे की निर्बंध वाढवण्याच्या संदर्भात आरोग्य विभाग किंवा माननीय मुख्यमंत्री अद्याप काही असा विचारात नाही आहेत की माननीय मुख्यमंत्रीच या बाबतीतले ऑब्झर्वेशन आणि आकडे लक्षात घेऊन निर्णय घेतील।
मला वाटतं आता काळजी आपण स्वतःहून घेणं गरजेचं आहे, कारण थोडी जी लोकांमध्ये मनात शंका असते की जायला पाहिजे की नको, मला वाटतं जेवढं तुम्ही स्वतःची काळजी घेऊ शकाल, अंतर ठेवू शकाल, मास्क घालू शकाल आणि गर्दी कमी करू शकाल, तेवढे निर्बंध कमी लागतील। कारण तिसरी लाट जसं मी सांगितलं, हे पूर्णपणे आपल्यावर निर्भर आहे की आपण किती लवकर ती खेचायची की किती लांब ठेवायची।
Crowds are expected in the run-up to the Ganesh Chaturthi next week. More than 2/3 of the COVID patients at major COVID centers in Mumbai are at the moment unvaccinated, according to a study of the numbers of these centers. With people out on promenades like Marine Drive, marshals like these are ensuring that people wear masks. In the meantime, leaders like Nitin Raut, Energy Minister, and Mumbai Mayor Kishori Pednekar are saying the third wave is already here, based on the spike in the number of COVID cases over the last few days. But health authorities say that the current numbers of COVID cases is nothing close to what is expected in the third wave. In Mumbai with camera person Rajendra Dayalkar, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
Dr. Shashank Joshi, member of the COVID-19 task force in Maharashtra, is with us. Thank you very much, Dr. Joshi. And Dr. Sulfi Nuhu, state president-elect of the IMA in Kerala, is also with us. Dr. Joshi, let me begin with you first. Would you say that it was alarmist on the part of some representatives of the government to declare that the third wave is here, or do you kind of agree that it is important to exercise abundant caution and warn people simply because we have seen the worst in second wave? After all, it began exactly like this.
Saket, I think to a great extent we should not spread fear or panic, but I think people have also become reckless and irresponsible, and I think it's festive time. So probably what the minister wanted to indicate, first of all, there is no third wave, and there is it is not even near a threshold of that. But at the same time, because of the trickle of cases which have started going up, there is a mini spike. In fact, many districts in Maharashtra have still not got out of the second wave. Maharashtra numbers which were 10,000 just a month back are now down per day to around 3,500. So actually there is a declining tail of the second wave. That is number one. But with the festive season coming up and so much of uncurbing has happened, that one needs to have abundant precautions. So from that standpoint, I would agree with you that we need to be cautious, careful, and not reckless and foolish. So we should not invite the third wave into our houses. Rather than that, we should mask and behave appropriately. That's all probably what the minister was trying to hint at. He was probably pained and agonized with the crowding which is occurring because of the festive season around. And we have seen due to Onam what has happened around the festive season in Kerala. We don't want a repeat of that in Maharashtra. We have seen it in the past. But also there are two important things. Number one, a large proportion is vaccinated. And also if you look at the National Sero Survey, 2/3 of the population has some form of Delta antibody. So with that in mind, we have to be clearly concerned, careful and cautious. But at the same time, we should not be fearful and alarmist.
You know, Dr. Joshi, the reason why I asked you this question is because the last time around, I remember around February, the detection of new strains, and then obviously it translated into and manifested itself into something very ugly. Do you think that initial studies have been done on whether this little spike that is being seen and now also a subsequent fall may have anything to do with either a new strain?
No, I am very clear about that. Every week from every district of Maharashtra, consistently genomic sampling is happening. In Pune, Dr. Karyakarti's team, and in Mumbai, the Kasturba team is doing genomic sequencing. The Integrative Genomic Institute in New Delhi with Dr. Anurag Agrawal's group is doing genomic sequencing. ICMR and CSIR are doing genomic sequencing. It is predominantly Delta strain. We have a sprinkle of Delta, and in Mumbai there's a little bit of Kappa. So currently we are not seeing any variant of concern or variant of interest right now in the current small number which is being analyzed. Sure. So from a genomic standpoint, probably Sanket, we are much better off than what we were that time.
Okay. Dr. Nuhu, I want to come to you now. You know, this is peculiar, and of course, all over the country, a lot is being said about, political appeasement, or at least allowing festivals, eventually leading to a spike in the number of cases. Now, you are in Kerala. Would you like to tell us how would you attribute these rise in or spike in cases to? Is it opening up during the festivals, or something else which may be a huge matter of concern? After all, this figure reached 38,000, and even today it is at 29,000 a day in a state which contributes to 69% of all the cases in the country.
Yeah, of course, the total number of the spike in the total number of cases is definitely due to some kind of relaxation. That is not the only reason in Kerala. You know, the Kerala is a little bit different from other part of the country due to several other reasons that we have discussed many times. So that is one reason, and I don't think there is just like in Maharashtra that there is no other variant existing now. Definitely, we have to do more genomic studies. Only Delta variant is the predominant one in Kerala. But as far as Kerala is concerned, we are talking about and a smaller number of cases about Maharashtra, and we have around 20,000 plus today also. I think
that's one of the reasons of concern. See, it's not like flight services or road services have been stopped. So 30,000 plus a day in Kerala could spell bad news for other states as well, neighboring states in Karnataka, in Tamil Nadu, in Maharashtra, and now you have got flights for everywhere, could spread all over the country.
Yeah, that is definitely. We have to be careful regarding the interstate transport, and we have to be careful about that. But regarding Kerala, we are actually very, very optimistic about what is happening, because since our total number of hospital admissions are still less, and the good number of them, almost 90-95% of cases are only category B or category A. We do not have many intensive care admissions. The vaccination is playing a big game in Kerala. I mean, it's a game changer in Kerala, and now I think and also we can see that the spike is coming down. So rather than going up, even the test positivity is also coming down. That hospital admissions are coming down, and in fact, today the Chief Minister has declared, the night curfew is withdrawn, and now even the Sunday lockdown is withdrawn.
And you do admit that Kerala paid a very heavy price for opening up during festivities, and this should be a lesson for everyone, including people in Kerala.
No, I won't say that the festival opening is the only reason. We were forced to give that opening, that kind of relaxation, because there are so many deaths, so many financial issues. There are so many economical issues, and we were forced to give some kind of relaxation to the public. We cannot go with all closing down. There is no point in continuing with that. We have to leave. We have to move forward with this COVID-19. We
but
thought,
at what cost?
the government.
Look at the cost you have had to pay. Again, a burden in terms of the number of cases. See, this is not a session to pin you down, Dr. Nuhu, but the point is that there's a fine balance that one has to strike. For instance, in Dr. Joshi's state, some tough decisions have been taken. Now, they may not be very, very politically sound in the literal sense of how politics is done. But Dr. Joshi, do you feel that this is an important time where we have to separate any attempt or to further economic or religious interests and compromise on the COVID front? Can we afford
I think
this?
We have to have zero. I agree with you, Sanket. We have to have zero tolerance for anything else but COVID, and we have to save every life of COVID. And we don't want another spike, spurt, or a third wave happening. And we have learned very bitterly from our second wave experience, and I think we were in a process of uncurbing more and more. Every week you must have realized, Saket, that we were actually opening up more and more. But I think now we are absolutely on a red alert, and we are on the guard, and we will ensure, and my appeal to everybody is that if citizens at large behave appropriately and they maintain some degree of responsibility, right now it is in the hands of citizens, whether we are in Kerala or Maharashtra or anywhere in India. If they cooperate, I think we can win this battle against COVID. Our enemy is COVID. Our enemy is not congregations. Absolutely. But congregations are the spreaders. Whatever may be the reason, it may be social, religious, political, whatever may be the reason, our enemy is COVID.
Absolutely. Well said. So, based on this discussion, the deduction here is that there is no third wave, but there can be a third wave if we don't take care. Delta or no Delta or whatever new strain, there can be one if we do not take care. As of this moment, there is none. Thank you very much to the two of you. That's a wrap in this edition of Trending Tonight. News continues on the other side. Good night.